Space is not silent. It is an active field of electromagnetic radiation. Every star, every collapsing nebula, every high-energy emission from distant sources adds to the static. For decades, we have been analyzing this background noise, waiting for a deliberate transmission. And every signal we had ever detected was either a singular burst, a momentary release of energy, or a perfectly repeating pulse, mechanical and lifeless. But a true message requires evolution. It requires variation, different pulses, asymmetrical spacing, an architecture of intent. And then, on August 26, 2017, the silence was broken. A burst of signals arrived from 3 billion light-years away. It had structure. It possessed an unknown, non-repeating pattern, fluctuating durations. For the first time, we were staring at something that held the mathematical architecture of a language. But this presents a paradox. How do we isolate the whisper of an intelligent mind from the mechanics of a dying star? What is our intelligence filter? We have been wrong before. Our desperation has consistently blinded our logic. In February 1942, British military radar detected a massive flooding noise. They assumed enemy jamming. It was a sunspot, a localized solar flare mimicking a tactical strike. In 1967, a spike of energy repeating every 1.3 seconds. So precise that astronomers labeled it LGM-1, Little Green Men 1. It was a pulsar, a collapsed hyperdense star spinning in the dark, sweeping a beam of energy like a mindless lighthouse. And in 1977, the WOW signal. 72 seconds of narrow band intensity at exactly 1420 megahertz. The frequency of hydrogen. We analyzed it for decades, searching for a pattern within the amplitude. We found only random fluctuations. It never returned. Each time we believed we had found a mind, the cold mechanics of physics proved our insignificance. So, how do we mathematically separate a mind from a machine? We must first understand the physics of chaos. Consider pure randomness, white noise. Every moment is entirely independent of the last. It is a reality without memory. But nature rarely operates in a vacuum. When random events accumulate, structure forms. This is colored noise, randomness with memory. The previous event dictates the probability of the next. A wave in the ocean is formed by thousands of micro-disturbances aligning. If you plot the frequency of these natural occurrences, you always get the same mathematical fingerprint. A convex curve, a Gaussian distribution. Nature creates curves. Intelligence creates lines.
In the 1940s, linguist George Zipf analyzed human language by ranking words from most common to least common. The result was not a convex curve. It was a sharp, perfect 45-degree mathematical line. A power law. Every book, every spoken language shares this identical skeleton. In English, the word "the" is our most frequent object. It is the box in this construct. The word "of" occurs exactly half as often, the barrel. This strict hierarchy of occurrence is the hallmark of syntax. When we ran the 2017 signal through this filter, the output matched the language pattern. It looked like words, but the universe is deceitful. Avalanches, earthquakes, the accumulation and release of tectonic stress. If you measure the cascades of these natural disasters, they mimic Zipf's law perfectly. A magnetor can create starquakes that mimic the exact frequency of a spoken language. No brain is required. Zipf's law is a mirage. We needed a filter that a dead star could not fake. Enter Claude Shannon and the mathematics of surprise. Information is measured by unpredictability, a concept known as entropy. If I pull 10 identical objects from a container, I possess absolute certainty. The information density is 0. It requires no memory to compress. It is pure order, and order is sterile. But if every sequential object is a complete surprise, we have pure chaos. True intelligence exists precisely on the boundary between order and chaos. In a true language, the longer a sequence of symbols, the more predictable the next symbol becomes. The context restricts the possibilities. In naturally occurring signals, entropy remains flat. Looking deeper into the noise gives you no predictive power. But with language, the entropy plunges. When this mathematical filter is applied to the clicks of sperm whales, the entropy plunges. It is the universal, non-biological signature of a thinking mind. So what happens when a signal from 3 billion light years away passes this final filter? How do we read a language created by a biology we cannot comprehend? The answer is brutally simple. We cannot. Our organic brains are biologically restricted to 3 dimensions of perception. We are incapable of seeing the multidimensional structure of a truly alien syntax. But a large language model does not read words. It maps concepts geometrically. In the latent space of an artificial neural network, concepts that share meaning cluster together into massive, multidimensional shapes. These shapes are universal. They transcend biology. We are training machines to recognize these alien geometries. We are building synthetic minds to translate the whispers we recorded in the dark, which leaves us with one final question. What happens when the neural network finishes processing the static? What happens when we realize that the cosmic background radiation was never static at all?